Thank you. Turn it up a little bit. April, can you talk so we can make sure we can hear you okay? April.
Sorry, I'm here. Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, we can hear you. Yay. Okay. We're going to share the screen. We'll go right there. Share. Good morning, everyone. Teacher, how are we today? You had a question, Cheryl? Oh, okay. You were pointing at Angela? Angela's one of our, couldn't tell you from the back of your head. Angela is one of the ninja crowd. So you should be proud of her. Yeah. Chris is here. Hi, Chris. Hi. We need to talk after about a recruit that I'm trying to get. You did nothing wrong. You talked exceptionally well about us 11 years ago when we were Realty World. So now that she's done having her third baby, she's thinking about.
Okay, that has got to be the longest nurture.
That's right. So 11 years. That's right. So today what we're going to talk about is websites. Now, this should be a really, really basic class. I'm not teaching you how to build custom sites. We might get a little bit into some searches, but by and large, how do you turn your website on? Has anybody in here turned on their website? Okay, if you've already got it running, you may not want to stay. Or you can stay and tell me what I'm about to do wrong. Like the public can access it. Okay.
Okay, so we're good.
You should, if you've already got your website so the public can access it, you're good.
It's my Better Home and Garden.
And you have to go into Moxie and turn it on. You have to physically turn it on. So as always, I use Brenda's account because she doesn't. And again, that has nothing to do with if Brenda likes Moxie or not. It has to do with Brenda as a team has other tools that they use that are specific for their team. And some of the tools overlap quite a bit. So, as always with Moxie, right at the top, we have Present, Engage, and My Website. That's where we're going to today. My Website. Moxie websites are built on WordPress, which is a kind of universal, easy to use, fingers in the air, easy to use website builder. It is incredibly powerful in that you can customize the dickens out of it. But this is locked down some so that you can't plug in just everything you want to out there. All of that is for people who know WordPress. Who in this room knows WordPress? That's what I thought. So, and what I expected. So when you click on website, you actually sort of look like you're going to a different page in that, you know, over here I have Moxie, but over here is nothing but website. And we have to find out if Brenda's website is even on or not. So as you look at this opening page, you're going to see, especially if you've never been here before, welcome to the agent admin site. It tells you what to do, and it says, here's some things you might want to do in the order you want to do them in. One of the things you'll see kind of down towards the bottom is completing your site activation. So without doing this, your website isn't visible at all. Now, my intent right now is to kind of start at the top of the list, talk about them simply, but then let's get down here because this is where the action is. How many people in the room have their own custom domain? How many people don't know what a custom domain is? Okay, Cheryl, what's your custom domain?
My
Hmm?
name.com, CherylHubert.com.
Gotcha. Lance? Do you have
Real
a...
estate dream chaser.
Okay, Sandra? Okay, Cece?
Cecilia Rogers, Wichita.com.
Okay, Lynn? Okay, okay. Does everybody know where that's hosted at? What do you mean hosted, Greg? Everybody's got them through GoDaddy. So here's sort of the way this works. This website is held in a server and your domain is on a different server. You have to tell your domain where to find this website or it's completely useless. To do that, you have to log into GoDaddy if that's who you used, and then let these people know, hey, I'm sending my website. When somebody types in that address, we're going to go to your computer and open up my website. And that's the part that confuses people. Think of it like the post office. You can have a mailbox, you can have a physical address. They know where those are at, but they don't know who's living inside that physical address. So we have to work on things to get these systems to talk to each other. So that's what all of this is about down here. So the important part to take away from that last lecture I just gave, you got to log into GoDaddy. You're going to change some settings there. And you've got to tell these folks, this is my domain before it goes active. When all of that happens, and when you go down here, it's going to say how to do it. So first, we need to make our site visible to search engines. Does everybody know what a search engine is, right? Okay. You have to turn this on before it is Googleable. You know, somebody can type into Google CC Rogers. And to turn it on, you saw that I clicked on that link. Do you want me to go back and show it again? Okay. I'm going to go ahead and do this part first because it's the most confusing. Make your site visible to search engines. This is the 2 steps you need to do to make your site activation. You go there and you can skip all this crap up here just to get this to this one checkbox. Make sure it's not checked. Right. Discourage search engines from indexing this site. No, we don't want to do that. You want that to be unchecked because you want it to go through your site and search for it. Now that if that is checked, what that means is search engines, it's got something in the programming that says, hey, Google, don't look at my site. You don't want that to happen. You want Google to look at your site. Make sure it's unchecked and save. Then we're going to go back to the home page. And we're going to go down to the second step, which is set up a vanity domain. And again, they make it real easy. Go there. Okay. We want to go there. This is some really sort of technical thing. So Cheryl was asking, do I have a site set up? As soon as you turn on that that Google thing, the search engines thing we just did, yes, you have a site. But this is your domain name. Brenda Knopfert-alliance.sites.bhgrealestate.com. So if you type in Cheryl Hubert, CherylHubert.com, it goes nowhere. GoDaddy will say either to the old Zap site, which if you forwarded it, it would be, or every now and then you'll type in something that GoDaddy says this site is parked waiting for somebody to set it up. So let's use Cece for a moment. It's Cecilia. I can't spell. CECILIA. ILIA dot or just Rogers
Disorders.
.com.
Wichita.
So this is actually the new website. So at some point you set it up through GoDaddy.
It's bare bones.
It's okay. We're going to talk about that in a minute. Let's Wichita Storm Chaser.
Real estate.
Real-
Chaser.
It's looking. So Lance's is still posted or pointed to his old Zap site. For you guys to all know, if you don't know already, this is going away. Well, it's not really active with your CRM right now, but the rest of it's going away by the end of the year. So if Lance's wasn't pointed here, it would say parked on GoDaddy or parked wherever. So it's not that your domains aren't going somewhere right now, but we need to change this or it will go nowhere. So let's go back into here a moment so that you can understand how. Everything is written here on how you want to do. And if you want to set up a vanity domain, which is what this is called, then you have to type it in here exactly how you want it to say. And then you want to set this as a primary domain. So, yes.
I searched mine because my old one, I think got taken out because I obviously have not been at all.
Uh-huh.
So I got a new one from GoDaddy. So I just searched on it. I didn't don't remember if I had turned it on or not. I searched it, it brought me to GoDaddy. But when I'm in this right here at the top, domains connected to this website, it has domain, it does have homesbysandrafuller.com.
Okay.
Verification not started. Verify, so is that what I need to do?
Yes.
What are you calling definition of
A vanity domain is something that is not Brenda Noffert Alliance sites all that. That is your official website domain. What you can do is have what they consider a vanity domain, a domain specific to your name, Wichita Home Sales, some sort of thing that you search on GoDaddy.
do I need to add that new vanity?
Yes, that's what no, GoDaddy should already have it. So what is that domain name that you have right now?
Right now, it's just my name, CherylHubert.com. I'm not understanding the difference between that and
Okay.
domain,
Okay, CherylHubert.com is a vanity domain. That is what we're talking about. And right now, it's pointed to the Zap site. Let me find the one that Sandra, you just typed. It's Sandra Homes by Sandra Fuller.com. So, well, come on, Greg, hear and type. You got to do both. So when I said this is a vanity domain, let's back up a little bit. When you go to GoDaddy, you search for names that you think you want your website to be, and it says, hey, this is available, and you give them money. That's a vanity domain. If you don't do anything with that domain, this is what happens. GoDaddy hangs on to it for you, but it doesn't go to a website anywhere. We need this domain to go to the website that you want it to. Does that help? Yes. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So let's talk about a little bit. Let's talk about the difference between a search engine and a domain name. There are companies out there that buy domain names intentionally, hoping that a really big corporation will give them thousands of dollars to get that domain name back. So let's use Homes by Sandra Fuller versus Home by Sandra Fuller. Some people will buy one that sounds a lot like what I just said, which was not, and others will buy the original one. So Sony, Coca-Cola, all these companies have been held hostage. And then what they can even do is come in here and put in something more. Oh, what's that? So if we go sold by sellers, which is probably what you type in here, right? Or do you put it all in one word? Sold with sellers. You put it in as one word or all the words out like this? Okay. So the problem then becomes that without that actual domain name, what somebody has done is multifold. Either their website has been very carefully manipulated so that, and I'm trying to be, yeah, there's Elena, so that their website is ranked higher than your website by Google. And there are ways to manipulate them, and we can talk about that in a minute. Or it could be that they've been on longer. There can be all kinds of things that will affect that. But you have not one trademarked that, so across the United States, and it'd probably be hard to trademark it, frankly. And as you say, here's Monty Sellers with EXP. He's got the same last name. He's doing the same thing you are. He's probably out there going, wow, she beat me to that domain. I really wanted it. But that's the problem. People can buy domains that may or may not relate. There used to be something called Black Hat Search Engine Optimization. Okay, so I could have a white website and type in white letters Britney Spears nude all in it so that nobody could read it. The search engines could read it. And if somebody typed in Britney Spears, that would show up real high, and it could be about something completely different. So people used to go around doing this black hat optimization to get a lot of hits on their website. Now the search engines have figured some of that out and done stuff. That's a very weird example, but
I guess my question is that I don't even see I can type in sellers.com and see my website, but I don't see it.
that's correct.
How can I get that?
Some of these are ads. Some of these are organic optimization. But you have to think about this. If people were truly looking for you, are they going to remember sold with sellers, or are they going to type in Elena Sellers? I'm looking for her, and oh, she's in Wichita because I don't want anybody. Let's see what that pulls up. And now we're starting to get about Elena Sellers in here. But what you'll find also is these companies, Realtor.com, Zillow, Homes, they all have your name on there, and they also are trying very hard to get their websites in front of yours. So they do a lot of optimization. I don't want to get real deep into that because we will talk a little bit about optimization.
But she's super Googleable, right?
Right. We're pulling her up on Facebook. We're pulling her up on LinkedIn. We've got realtor.com. We've got her and Zillow reviews, homes.com reviews. We,
Ultimately, that's the whole goal. Right there.
right. So at one point, even Reese Nichols' website is pulled up because we've got your name on there and your phone number. So the point is, while they may not find your website immediately quickly going in this fashion, what they will find is your phone number and how to call you and say, what's up? Now, one thing you're going to see right here, I'm going down a rabbit hole a little bit. Like I haven't been down a rabbit hole already. This year, about 3 weeks ago, there was a change that was mandated by NAR that we implemented. And that implementation across the MLS says that all IDX feeds, and IDX is a feed that Wygang gets of our listings and Reese Nichols gets and so on, must now display the listing agent's name on it. So if I go to Reese Nichols' website, which we can do right here, the reason that
Not the listing broker.
that's correct. Okay. And it's supposed to be relatively, it can't be totally obscure. So you'll see right at the top, it says Better Homes and Gardens, Elena, and your cell phone number on Reese Nichols or Wygant. Now, when I say this is relatively new, what it mandated was it has to have the listing agent and it's got to have a contact method. And I, as a broker, had the choice of putting the company phone number, which is the default, or I can go in and make it so that your personal contact shows up, which is what I changed. I don't think most brokers know that's out there. And this isn't something Reese Nichols decides. This is something Greg decides. So if the other brokers don't have that, you're going to see the brokerage phone number on there. I think that's useless. If people want to talk to the listing agent, they want the listing agent, not to go through some switchboard or something. So that is now out there. You're being advertised on every site there is out there that has these. Anyway, I digressed. Let's go back to our domain stuff for a minute. So what you have to do is to set up a vanity domain is to go there. Again, vanity would be Cheryl Hubert, RE, Cecilia Rogers in Wichita, Selwa Sellers. Did I say that right that time? Selwa Sellers. No, I still didn't get it right, did I?
Do I still need to do this?
Yes.
I've already got my domain.
Yes. It's after you get your domain name that you have to do this. Keep going.
What if I want more than one?
You can have more than one.
You can't.
But you have to tell them which one is going to be your main domain, and they will all still reach it. So like I have, so when I set one up, remember that long thing that Brenda had?
Yes.
Let me show you a different one. No, I don't want to do that yet. You have to identify it. So set up the vanity domain. And when I'm done with the vanity domain, this is going to show up and this is going to show up. And I can choose which one is going to be my main one. Okay.
So under domains connected to this website, where the main one is,
Huh.
myrealestateDreamchaser.com is listed there, and it says verified, but it's not highlighted. It's not bold.
Uh-huh.
And it has a selection that's set as primary. So should I just go ahead and set that as the primary?
Yes. Probably because it hasn't been verified yet.
Right, mine's not bold like the other ones.
Oh boy.
But she just has it set on primary.
Her vanity.
Right. Okay. Right up here, it says website. Okay.
So when I click on mine, it says remain accessible. Please check your DNS settings. So do I need to go to here, or the GoDaddy?
Well, let's first go back to your domain. Can you click on the real estate? Okay. So while you put that in, and this is where I'm trying to get, bear with me a second. Okay, let me have your attention again. Thank you, Lynn, by the way. When you are here and I click on BrendaIsGreat.com is what I want to be on, you'll notice that the next page that comes up, and this is where it gets even more confusing. You're welcome. Comes up and says, you need to add a domain, update the DNS records for Brenda is Great. So it's got step-by-step instructions, which are seriously confusing. In this case, let's say I had Brenda is registered at GoDaddy. And within your DNS settings, I have to find the A record for Brenda is Great. Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. This is seriously confusing. And I also have to change the C name. Okay. Just a second. And then it says you can only have one A name and one, and then it says below are the common hosting sites, and it's GoDaddy, and it says how to do this. If you haven't done this next step, as I suspect Lance hasn't, they don't know what his domain and all that is. Now, yours says it's verified. It does. So you're going to have to check on the help menu and chat with somebody and say, why isn't this working? And once you've got those records set up, then you can verify the domain. Now, where is all of that at? That's a darn good question.
So Greg, that at sign and the www where they find, because I went to scroll past that, and
Well, no. Here's the problem. This information that says an at for the name, it's an A record, at for the name and the value, this IP address, I know Cheryl's shaking her head, is where the computer is that houses your website. This is the name that's going to house your website. So you have to put this information into GoDaddy. If you don't put the information into GoDaddy, it won't work. Now then, I can see everybody going, oh my God, what do I do? All right. No.
But the real solution is after class, you bring your computer to Greg and you say, will you do this?
So in serious business, I'm trying to tell you, and I have no doubt there are going to be a lot of people in my office. And then I'm going to bring, I'm going to bring Devin in and Tracy Garrett. I'm going to say, sit with me so I can show you, so you can also help me do it. But the thing is, this information is what we need to put in GoDaddy. When I pushed the button that said, I want my website to be Brenda is Great, and I push continue, it comes up and says, oh, well, this is it. I can remove those now, but I'm not done mapping. I haven't done anything. So if I haven't verified it, I don't know what happens when I push that. It's probably going to say it's not done. Oh, there's the domain stuff I needed. So Lance, in your case, if you push verify, it should come up and say it's not mapped.
Well, apparently it is,
Okay.
It says verified, but when I click to send it to my primary, then it gives me that.
Then you have to get on the little chat button down the bottom and say, my site is verified. Why won't this set as primary?
Says the reason you can't do that, set it as a primary, because the domain is not accessible, so it cannot be set as a primary. Please check your DNS setting.
Which are these?
Right.
I can't get to that.
Yes, you can. Did you push verify?
I've already verified.
Okay, so I see. Well, then again, you're going to have to chat because I don't know. I can't.
Why do you have to go to GoDaddy? I went to GoDaddy and it said DNS management.
But you've got to put that information in there.
Yeah, but I'm looking at this information and going, the A type says parked. It doesn't have number.
Okay, and because it says it's parked, you don't have the information in there that allows it to go on. Now, as I say all this, and you all are shaking your heads and going, oh my God, I don't like doing this. I don't like doing it either. Now, there are ways that you can use them to buy it, but it doesn't matter. You still got to manage it. And here's the reason why. You want a vanity domain. You can buy it from several different places. This is the internet. This is what you have to do. Now, let's go back for a second. The chat button down here, absolutely fantastic. If you call GoDaddy and say, I need to go to my A name and my C name, they will help you. And you're going to do this once and probably not do it again for years. But you have to do this in order to get the internet to talk to each other. Yes.
There a benefit this that holds hands in place with Moxie?
Well, yes. If you use the Moxie website, and if somebody requests information on your website, then it goes into your CRM, their contact information, and it alerts you that. And then if they go to the company website and they find somebody has already, Cheryl Hubert's already got this person, then when it comes through the company, it goes to Cheryl. So it's a coordination benefit. If you want to get, now I'm fairly techie, and this confused me. You'll notice down here, I clicked on GoDaddy A name. Well, now it's loading this. Add an A name and GoDaddy. It tells me where to go, how to do it, and so on. Once you add one, you got to change the C name. And it goes to GoDaddy, gives me all the instructions. But here's what happens. Fortunately, CC wasn't one of these. If you come to my office and say, okay, set me up, and I say, okay, where's your domain? I don't know. Okay, well, let's figure that out because I can do searches and figure that out. Okay, you bought this domain from a Cash Cow. I think there's one, Two Cows is one of them. Two Cows worked with several websites. And so we go to Two Cows and I say, okay, how do you log in? I don't know. Okay, so here's what happens. Cheryl buys a domain because some really good website seller 10 years ago said, Cheryl, I'm going to set all this up for you, and buys a domain for her and has all the management of it, and Cheryl can't touch it. It takes a while to figure through that. So if you want to use your vanity domain, know where it's at and know how to log in. Okay. These C names and A names, you can change the records all the time. But they're locked so that only you can change it, and it only points to one place. Once that's done, you don't have to worry about it for a while. I'm curious about what Lance is going to find out if his is verified, but he can't set it. Why? No. At the bottom of it, it should say live chat. Yeah, type in, there you go, live chat. Now you're talking to a live person who can look at your stuff and figure out why. Now, sometimes they're busy, like you can be the fourth in queue and it'll be 15 minutes, but it can be done. And again, you know, I can't stop the class to look at Lance's, but if I had more time, I could, you know, try to work through it with him. And I will work through it with you guys too when you're ready to do this. So now that I've thoroughly confused you, you understand the process. My domain is someplace. I got to get it to point over here. And to do that, I got to tell GoDaddy how to get there. GoDaddy also has live chat and great support. I don't understand Lance's problem because it's verified. Okay, we'll look at it in a minute. You could. What is your domain name, Lynn? LYNSELLING Wichita.com. Like that?
See, I wonder, should she go in by LYNN? Because that's a more common spelling also, to set up as a second.
Yes, you could do that. Did I? Lynn selling Wichita.com. Interesting. Okay.
Probably not. My website is active, yeah. Just.
So who is a list of all the domains in the world.
Yeah, went in and did the GoDaddy and did my e-name, now it says park.
Yeah. And we've got to undo that part. So according to this, LynnSellingWichita.com isn't owned by anyone.
Oh,
Seriously?
y'all, now that I know that none of your websites are taken, I'm
Oh
gonna
my
be
God.
buying them and stealing all of them.
So,
Like 10 years or something.
so again, I'm really glad we're having this because this is such a tough thing. Lynn's got a perfect domain. Now, what could have happened? Have you owned it for a while? When did you get this? No, just talk to me.
I don't know. I mean, I'm looking at GoDaddy and I'm like, I don't know.
They do. And so if you haven't paid for it, it goes back on the selling block. It could be that somebody stole your domain. Occasionally that happens. But right now, according to Whois, this is not owned by anybody. So it doesn't matter what your website says in Moxie, your domain is not being pointed anywhere or owned by anybody. Well,
Maybe it went so far as to do that, but nothing else to buy it.
or it was verified and then it expired since. Or yeah, I don't know.
Because I looked at GoDaddy to see if I had a vanity domain, and that's what showed up, and so that's what I put in, and then I went verify and it verified. So, but it doesn't make a difference.
Well, according to this. Now, the reason I went to Whois is a company that says where it's parked, who's got the domain, how long you've had it, who paid for it, where it's registered at, and so on. If I go to GoDaddy, isn't the internet confusing? No, technology's not. The people make it confusing. So, Lynn selling WICHITA.com.
Yeah, maybe that's the problem. It's high price.
said it was verified, but I don't have it, so it doesn't make sense. I just gotta buy it.
We got to figure that out. And again, that's a deep search. This is the problem with vanity domains that unfortunately is just reality. There are website companies out there, as I said earlier, and I can't think of one right now. iHome is one. They'll get the domain and set it up and do everything for you. And they'll charge you a pretty penny for setup. And then they'll own the domain forever so that you can never get it back. Cheryl.
What exactly do I, specific information I'm gonna have to give them?
Yes, you will want that in the vanity domain. When you get to this page that says add a domain, which you can add a lot, or you want to verify your domain, you are going to want to have this DNS record A and C name. And I would just have this page up for them. What is the name? You tell them A. What is the value? You'll tell them the IP address. What is the name? www. We all know what www stands for, right? Do you know that you can have domains that don't have www in front of it? And then if you leave it out or you put it in, it does weird things when you're looking at pages. So it's important to do that. And this dugout.moxieworks.com is these two things are telling them where your website is and what you want to have happen when they click on CherylHubertHomes.com or Cheryl Hubert. And this is why we're spending so much time on this very complicated thing. So I'm going to give you my 100-foot shot at websites. I think it is a good idea for you to have one so people can look up some stuff about you. Do I think you're going to drive hundreds of thousands of people to your website? No, because the hundreds of thousands of people don't really care who's a great realtor. They want to know, what house do I want to buy? And so they'll type in an address, I want to live at 4810 Harding. Okay, in Wichita, because I drove by it and it has a sign on it. Well, if that home there, that's going to tell me a little about it. And look, Truly is up here. This house isn't even for sale. It hasn't been for sale for 10 years. I know this because this is my boyhood home. Okay. And yet these places have them in here, and this is who you're competing with. These are people that spend lots of money trying to get lots of authentication to their site and so on. So for me to compete with this and get my website to drive people to a home is tough. Now, if I am in Wichita and I want to look for a good home or a good realtor, do I type in your name? And look, automatically cut rate comes up there. It means that a lot of people search for that term, and that's why it's up there. I want to find who's going to cut their commission. But I type in Wichita, Kansas real estate, Kansas real estate agents. And these are called Google ratings. This has 9 ratings and a total of 4.6 stars. This one has 5.0 and 13 ratings. The Roy Group, 598 ratings and 4.8 stars. Now, these are all some sort of paid contributions. Then down below it, we have, an ad by UpNest. We have businesses. We have Realtor.com, Zillow, Expertise. The question is, how is Sandra going to compete with all these companies to be listed right here? Let's go back for a minute. Let's pick on Christy Madden. So if I pull up Christy Madden, I want to know if she's got a website over here because I want to know more about her. I don't see one.
I don't even know who that is. How did she get this promo position?
The Knopfords were champions of this for a long time. Maurice Seguda was a champion of this. HomeSnap got bought by CoStar. HomeSnap is going away as we know it 1 November. So a lot of this is good. And HomeSnap is saying, you know what? We're really here to be, we want to charge people. See, there's Brenda. Now, if I click on Brenda, let's see, photos, overviews, services, Google screen. I want to know if she's got a website in here. Yeah, there we go. And that's how people are going to find your websites more. So my point to all this is your website should serve as, I have it on my card. I want people to go there. I want them to use, you're going to get a lot further than somebody Googling Wichita, Kansas real estate agents. Unless you buy ads. And Google's happy to sell you ads. Very happy. I see lots of crushed faces like, you know, this is one more difficult than I want it to be. Yes, it is. Two, I won't show up in Google results. Well, sure you will. But you're going to show up by people that already know you because that's who wants to do business with you. Or I see your name on a sign. So let's go back to Cheryl Hubert in Wichita. How come the next thing I can find is where can I find Cheryl's cookies? Where do you keep your cookies, Cheryl? No. So when I type up Cheryl Hubert, look, it comes up under our website. Hey, great. It comes up under Facebook. Well, more people are going to Facebook now than your personal websites because there's more personality there than all the business stuff. Were you Lauber at one point? Yeah. Sorry about that. Probably not.
Like a neighborhood. That's my address. Is your home address?
It was. I don't think it is now. It is still. SCK Realtors. Yeah, I'm not a fan of Nextdoor. Biz journals. So there's all kinds of things that come up about Cheryl Hubert, including website. But that's going to be my website. So if we go to, you know, back to all the breakdown things, if I go here and I want to find out about Cheryl Hubert, we have one office, we have all the agents, we type in Cheryl. People are still going to find your website if it's on. So that's why we want to make sure it's on.
To update that picture, I need to send it to Devin.
Or me, either one. And see, currently, your website is going to the old Zap site. We want to change it.
Which is going away.
Right. Let me explain one more thing. How are we doing on time? I can't see the clock. Okay. So here's the deal and why they're making you do all this work. There is another way of getting websites found by your domain called forwarding. You can go into GoDaddy and say, you know what? I don't want to mess with all this stuff. I just want to forward my site to, and I forget what the name of it was, to this. Brenda Knopfler Alliance. That sounds very simple. It's kind of like having a forwarding address at the post office. I want all my mail forwarded to Seattle for the next 6 months.
But that would be like if I wanted to spell my name, Hubert, because it's misspelled so often, same with Lynn, L-Y, you would point that to the.
You can. You can. Here's the problem with the forwarding, just like the probably forwarding with the post office. It is considered a temporary thing. And so by making you do this work, where they do the CNS name and the A name, what happens is Google and other search engines say, wow, this is permanent. This isn't a temporary forward. This is much more trustworthy than somebody who just forwards a name. That's what that's all about. I love forwarding. It works great. I can go in and say, type it to coca-cola.com and I'm done. But by doing this, you verify where the computer's at, and the one where the computer at is have to verify that you are okay to send everything over there. They talk to each other and Google says, this is real, this is worthwhile, this is safe. That's why they're making you do this instead of a forwarding. Okay, yes, ma'am. Oh, microphone.
So like your actionable first step is to first go to GoDaddy, make sure that you own your domain name. If you don't own it, buy it. And then you can either get on the chat with Moxie.
And make sure you can log in to wherever your domain is. Just because GoDaddy has it, if you forgot how to log in, get that part going too.
Right. And then once you have that, then you can either go on GoDaddy chat or Moxie chat and say, here's what I need to do. Can you help me do it? But first step is making sure that you own the domain name in the first place.
Correct. Thank you for clearing that up for me. That was very
We got
smart.
in the weeds and it even confused me. And
Well,
I,
I'm still confused.
Yeah.
See, yeah, no, I can't spell it.
And so we haven't even talked about, anything else other than how do we turn it on? You want it turned on first, because once it's turned on, it's live and it's working. You already have IDX search on there. You've already got information on there. And that you've done nothing more than turn it on. Now, having said that, it's going to be pretty simple. So let's see what Brenda's site even looks like. Page not found. Yeah, because we haven't gone ahead and set it up. So we still have things to do to get this going. We have to make selections, but get it turned on, and then we'll go from there. Yes, ma'am. Okay. Then I'm going to end this class unless April's got a question. Oh, we got more. April and Suzanne. Okay.
No, I don't have any questions.
Okay.
I'm feeling.
Okay, good. Then I'm going to stop the recording.
So mine still says verification of progress. Does that take?
24 to 48 hours.
So I should like say.
So here's the problem in that verification you're talking about. There's this really long, complicated term called propagate. So what I do over here on this computer has to spread out through all the other internet computers. That takes a while.
That's actually a really good word to use for our sellers when we enter.
Propagates.